good, everybody? It's your girl Mickey Fam. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry if I sound a little gruff today. It's a little early in the morning. Well, it's about 8:30 in the morning and I didn't get a good sleep last night. But had to get up, had to get this dish going. So I wanted to record a video and share this with you. So it's going to be a cooking video today. First and foremost, let me say happy Sunday, happy WrestleMania Sunday to all my viewers. Having a huge get together today at my house for WrestleMania. It's potluck style, so everybody's either bringing a dish or something to sip on. And I usually make one, maybe two dishes every year for this gathering. And I wanted to share with you guys the dish that I'm making today. It's Italian roast beef in the slow cooker. I actually learned this dish from my mother-in-law and it is absolutely amazing. I think you guys are really going to like it. Super quick and easy to throw together, and then you just turn it on low, let it go. Alright, so that's the reason why I'm starting this dish so early in the morning, is because I'm letting it go all day, at least 8 hours. So let go. Alrighty guys, what I have here is the inside of my slow cooker. I'm going to cook this dish at my dining room table. I usually set that up buffet style for the pay-per-view. So the fact that it's already in there will make things a whole lot easier for me. And as you can see, I don't have much counter space. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in and get it going as quickly as possible. So again, I have the inside of my slow cooker here. Now, to my slow cooker, I am adding 2.5 pounds of beef bottom roast or bottom round roast. I also have 2.5 pounds of stew meat. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because for this large crowd, I wanted to have a 5-pound roast, and my local grocery store did not have that. So the whole idea, guys, is to get a bottom round roast that is the size of, your needs. If I was just making this dish for just my family, this 2.5 pound roast would be just fine with leftovers. But since I'm making it for a crowd, I needed to bump it up a little bit. So the stew meat's going to work just fine. It's a little tough. It's not the most tender cut in the world. But after going low and slow for 8 hours, like butter. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this in. So, that's my first pound of stew meat. And here's my second pound of stew meat. Oh, and another thing. Just so you know, my hands have been washed and all jewelry has been removed. Wash your hands before you cook somebody's food. I just want to throw that out there. Wash your hands before you cook your own food. How about that? Alright, so now we're going to get this beef roast in there as well. Now, it's just me, but I'll be honest, guys, I wash my hands a lot when I cook for the simple fact that a little bit of that beef blood got on my hands and I can't do that. So tend to be really OCD with hand washing when I'm cooking, because cross-contamination is real. Salmonella is real. So don't think it can't happen to you. Just saying. Okay. So now we've got our 5 pounds of meat in our crock pot. The next thing we're going to add that really gives this dish its signature flavor and gives it that oomph. I have a 16-ounce jar of deli sliced pepperoncinis, and you guys use whatever brand you want to, but this is just the brand I'm using. So we're gonna go ahead and pop the top on this and get it over into our slow cooker on top of this meat, and we want the entire jar, peppers, juice, and all. And this is also going to serve not only as your flavor but liquid, so that your meat does not dry out. Now, right off the bat, I'm not going to add any liquid to this just yet, because between the liquid from the pepperoncinis and the broth that the beef is going to automatically make, I'm going to check back in on it and see if it needs it. And our final ingredient, because I told you this, guys, is really quick, super easy to throw together. We have a package of the Italian dry seasoning mix. And this is going to be our seasoning for the meat. And just want to get that all down in there, entire package. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Super quick, and super easy to throw together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the lid on this. Get it onto the slow cooker on low. Let it go. Low and slow. I like to check in on it maybe every 2 hours or so. Kind of give it a check, give it a flip. Baste the meat with the juices that are being produced. Now if you notice, before I go, if you notice, I did not add any salt, pepper, garlic. I have not added anything to this dish. And the reason being, one, I haven't added salt because between the pepperoncinis and the Italian seasoning mix, there's plenty of salt. But you can check it in a few hours and adjust the seasonings to your liking. Personally, I don't think it's going to need any salt at all. Alright guys, I'm going to check back in with you in about 2 hours. Let's see, it looks like it's 8:37 right now. So I'll check in with you guys in about 2.5 hours and show you guys what it's looking like. Alright everybody, so it is now 11 a.m. So about 2.5 hours have passed since we got started on our Italian roast beef. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now of course this is nowhere near finished at all. And remember what I told y'all, low and slow. That is the way to go. Alright, so basically what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and give the juice a stir that has acquired down at the bottom. Again, that's a combo of the juice from the pepperoncinis as well as the juices that the meat have created. So I'm going to slide this out the way for a sec. Come on, big baby. There we go. Just going to tilt that up there. And don't get to the meat at the bottom. Give that a stir too. Alright. So far so good. Everything's looking good. I think I'm going to give this a flip. Stir this meat at the bottom. I'm going to get this flip that over. There we go. Alright. Alright, get some of them juices on there. Get them pepperoncinis down into the bottom. Because after this thing goes for 8-9 hours, guys, those peppers are going to fall apart. This meat is going to fall apart. It's going to be super fork tender. Alright, guys. Go ahead and put the lid back on that. Again, we have it on low. Going to set the timer for another 2 hours and we're going to check back in at that time. Alrighty guys, another 2 hours have gone by. So what I'm about to show you guys now is 4.5 hours of cooking time. And what I've done is I have flipped the meat over and I have the smaller cuts of meat now on top because I wanted the larger cut of meat to be down in the sauce. That's going to help tenderize the meat and get it to that butter stage that we want where it's falling apart. That's exactly the way we want it. So just going to get the chunks up top here, do a little basting as you can see. Now all of the juice that you see that I'm basting the meat with, this is the juice from the 16-ounce can of pepperoncinis and all of the beef broth that this meat has produced. I have not added any additional liquid to this slow cooker. Now would be a good time to go ahead and taste your broth. Now, it's supposed to have that good twang to it from the pepperoncinis. You want that twang. But if this is your first time making the recipe and maybe you find that it's not your get down or whatever, maybe it's a little too tangy for you or even a little too spicy depending on the peppers that you put in here, then now would be a good time to add either a cup of water or a cup of low sodium beef broth. I have checked my broth and it is right where I want it to be, so I'm not going to add anything. Alright, lid's going back on. And And we're going to check back on this in another 2 hours. Alrighty guys, about 4.5 hours has passed and the meat is falling apart like it should. We're going to go ahead and start breaking it apart with the fork. I have cranked the heat up to high because I guess I got a bigger chunk of meat than I thought. And it hasn't quite broken apart the way I'd like to, but it's getting there. Fortunately, nobody's hungry yet, so we're going to let this go like maybe another hour or so, not sure. Sorry if you guys hear any noise in the background. The guests have started showing up and everything. Alright, so I think the next time I come back, I'll be showing you guys the finished product.